Hey, welcome back. You'll be surprised to know that we just don't need any IDE for writing our C++ programs. We can just use Notepad or any other simple text editors for writing the C++ program, and we can compile and execute our program from within the terminal environment. Let me go ahead and show you how we can do that. I will encourage you to use Notepad++ instead of using simple Notepad. Now this Notepad++ is really a pretty cool text editor. You can use Atom or Sublime Text as well. I'll show you how to use Notepad++. Let's go ahead and download Notepad++ first. Just open your browser and type download Notepad++ in your favorite search engine. I'll use Google. The first link is the link for the download page of Notepad++. You can see it there, right? Just hit on this. It will take you to the download page. Just click on this download button and this dialog box will appear. I'll create a folder here, Notepad++, and I'll save this installer in this folder. It has been downloaded in my system. Now just for your information, this Notepad++ is only available for Windows platform. If you are using Linux or Mac, then you have the text editors available for these platforms as well. So you can use Sublime Text for your Mac, or you can use Sublime Text for Linux as well. Now, in order to install this Notepad++, just right click on this installer, click on this Run as Administrator. Just click on Yes on the System dialog box. Now click on OK. Next, I agree. Yes, this is the folder where it's going to be installed. If you want it to be there in some other folder, you can just change it by clicking on this Browse. So I'll just keep it on Program Files. Just click on Next then. Make sure that all these are selected except the localization. If you need the localization support, you can select this as well. Now you can have your particular language here. So I don't need that. I'll use the general one. Just click on Next, and you don't need to select this. You just don't need to add those plugins. Just click on this one, create shortcut on desktop. That's going to make a shortcut on the desktop. So just now hit the install button and it's done. I'll just click on finish. I'll use the shortcut on the desktop to run the Notepad++. So here it is. You just double click here and this is the Notepad++ text editor. Now before I go ahead and type my first C++ program and execute that, we'd like to have the compiler installed in our system. Now the thing is that you need to download the compiler separately. The compiler is a program that converts your C++ source code to operating system understandable format. Now just for your information, whatever we write using C++ or using C programming language or Python, what else you use, they are not going to be recognized by the operating system. The operating system is the executor of your program. Operating system means the Windows or Mac or the Linux, whatever you are using. Now we need to submit our program for execution to this operating system. Now the funny thing is that even though you are using the programming languages like C++ or C, whatever you are using, they are not going to be recognized by the operating system unless and until they are translated to the operating system understandable format. And for that, we need a compiler. Compiler is just like a translator. It's going to translate your C++ program to the operating system understandable format. Now, obviously, you need different compiler for different language that you use. If you are using Java, then you need the Java compiler. If you are using C program, then you need the C compiler to translate it to the operating system format. Now for C++, what you need is the MinGW compiler that you can download from the MinGW orgs. So you can just use download MinGW in your search engine to get the link where you can get the MinGW. So this is the link, mingw.org. Now this is the minimalist GNU compiler for Windows. that you can use for compiling your C++ program. Now here's the download. You can see that on the right side, download installer. You can just hit on this button to get the installer downloaded, and then you can just follow the next, and that will be done. It will be installed on your system. Now the other way to get the MinGW compiler on your Windows is that you just download the CodeBlocks IDE. In order to do that, you can just follow the other tutorial that I have in this section to install the CodeBlocks. Now when you download the CodeBlocks IDE, the MinGW compiler is bundled with that CodeBlocks IDE. So if you download CodeBlocks with MinGW, you get the MinGW within that CodeBlocks. So you just don't need to download that MinGW separately. So the benefit is that if you download CodeBlocks bundled with MinGW, you get the CodeBlocks IDE, you get the MinGW, and you can use that MinGW for compiling your C++ programs separately as well, other than the CodeBlocks. So let me go ahead and show you that. I have downloaded the CodeBlocks already, and I have installed that, and I have showed you that in the other tutorial in the same section. So you can follow that first. And my CodeBlocks has been installed here in the program files. I'll show you that. Under the program files x86, I have this CodeBlocks folder, and within that you can see that it's the MinGW folder. That's my compiler. And within that MinGW, you have this bin folder, right? And within that bin folder, all the tools, the C++ compiler, the C compiler, all these things are available. They are installed here in this folder. So what you need to do is that if you are using CodeBlocks and you are writing your program within the CodeBlocks and running from within that, you just don't need to do anything else. Use CodeBlocks. If you plan to use Notepad or Notepad++ for writing your C++ programs and compiling that from within terminal, what you need to do additionally is that you need to set the path. You need to let the operating system know that your G++ compiler, the C++ compiler, is available here in this bin folder. So what you need is that, just for your information, this G++ is the compiler that we are going to use for compiling our C++ program. So what you need is that to set the path, just click here in that icon and copy this path of bin folder. So I'll just click here again. I'll just select all this and I'll right click and copy. Now you need to go to the control panel and find the system icon that's available there, right? This one is the system icon. Click on that. On this dialog box, click on Advanced System Settings. And then in this System Properties dialog box, click on Environment Variables. Now at the bottom, in the System Variables list, you'll find a value path, this one. Just click on Edit. Now click on New and paste that path of the bin folder of your MinGW. If you have downloaded MinGW separately other than the CodeBlocks, then you can just show the path of the bin folder of that particular MinGW. So just click on OK, hit OK again, OK, close this, you are done. Now the terminal knows where the G++ is available. So now we can just go ahead and, now we can just go ahead and write our C++ program here and can execute that using the terminal. So I'll do that right now. So here's the program. That's the first program that we are going to execute. It's going to print hello world into the console. Now you just don't need to bother about how this program works because I'm going to explain each of these lines entirely in the next section. Just don't worry about that. Now when we run this program, it's going to print hello world. Now you need to understand how we can compile and run this program. That's our motto for this tutorial. First of all, we need to save this. So hit on File and then Save. I'll just go to the C drive and I'll find the folder udemy_C++. And here we can save it as test.cpp. That's the name of our file. Now you can give the name anything, but the extension should be .cpp. That is must. So I've saved that. Now we need to open the command prompt. Just go ahead and type CMD in the search box, and this is the command prompt link. This is our terminal. I have actually changed the background color and foreground color. You may have it with a black background and white text color. If you want to change the background color, you just right click on the title bar and just click on this properties and can do the change here using all these things, right? So now I need to go inside the folder where I have saved my C++ program. That is under Udemy_CPP, and that is in C drive. So I'm right now in the Shiba folder, which is under users folder, and the users folder is under C drive. So I'll get back to the C drive first, and for that I'll use the command cd \. That's going to take me to the C drive. You see that? I'm in the root. Now I need to go inside the Udemy_CPP folder. For that, we need to use the command cd. cd stands for change directory. Now it's going to be Udemy_CPP. Now it will change the directory to that. You can see that the prompt has been changed. Now inside this directory, if you use the command dir, it's going to print the content of this directory. You can see that we have this test.cpp. Apart from this first app, that is a directory, and this test.cpp is a file that's of 107 bytes. Now we need to compile that. We just need to use G++, that's our compiler, and then the name of the file, test.cpp. Now it's going to create a.exe if the compilation is successful. If we have anything wrong in the program, then it's going to print the error list. Now since I have typed the program pretty well without any error, it's going to be compiled okay. So see that it has been compiled and it is printing back the command prompt. Now let me show you what is going to happen if we have some error. Say I'm just not giving that semicolon at the end of line 6. I'm removing that semicolon and then I'll try to compile it once more. You see that it's saying that test.cpp in function int main error expected semicolon before return, but that's not there, right? So that's why the compiler failed. Now again I'll try to compile. After giving the semicolon, it's okay now. Now on compilation, on successful compilation, the compiler produces the executable. You can see that it's a.exe. By default, the name is going to be a.exe. Now if you are using Mac or Linux, then it's going to be a.out. Now if you want the executable to have a different name, then just the cls command clears the screen. I have just typed that and pressed enter to clear the screen. So if you want a different name for your executable, you can just use this -o. That's the option for giving the name of the output file, and you can give any name, say test.exe for your file test.cpp. Now this time you see that this test.exe has been created, and both these exes, a.exe and test.exes, are having the same size. You see that 10476660. So that's the executable that we can run. Now in order to run this, what you need to do, you just need to type the name of the executable. You can use the .exe, or that doesn't matter if you don't use. Just type the test, the name of the executable, and press the return key. And that's it. Our program is running. We have just executed our first C++ program. Congratulations. So that's how we can use the Notepad++ to write our program, and we can use the terminal to compile and execute our program. Sometimes in this tutorial, I'll be using Notepad++ for writing the programs, but most of the times I'll be using some IDEs like CodeBlocks or Visual Studio. I hope you have enjoyed this, but don't forget to set the path. That is important. Otherwise, this G++ is not going to work from the terminal. You must set the path. Thank you for watching.